Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 2 of Sex, Weights and Protein Shakes. And today, as promised, I've got the one, the only, the legendary Mr. Dave Crossland. What's that for an intro, eh?
Oh, brilliant. I'll pay you that money later.
It's all right. It's all right. How
Good,
you doing, buddy?
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm not bad, mate. I'm not bad. Busy.
Good man. Good man. What's new to report back on? Been up to much?
We opened Pathology Lab in January. So we'll be doing his own testing. We're launching a couple of other things off the back of that. So like a coaching loyalty program for coaches to send clients.
Yeah.
Well, basically ass lickers.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You know, if you send me work, I'll look after you. I'm not a big fan of all the old discount things. So we're going to do a point system where you gain points that you can redeem as prizes. So there you go.
Happy days.
So, they like Tesco points.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, point. You know, remember the old game show, points mean prizes?
Yeah. I wonder what prizes you're going to give them.
Well, I've got your old dildo. I can send them that.
Oh, listen, make sure you want.
I know it's authentic Zack juice on it, so we've got to send them that.
Oh, okay. You've been sniffing it.
I'm going to collect your tears from training and bottle them and send them.
Oh, fuck off, please. you just fucking love coming to torture me, don't you?
It's my stress management. What? But, you know, it's like I drive an hour on a Friday there and an hour back. Well, it's about an hour and a half back because of fucking traffic.
Kirky makes that you can't come, and then they'll say like 5 minutes before, "Oh, I'm on my way. Don't stop without me." And he fucking gets there and he goes, "I've had such a shit day," and we know what he's gonna fucking do to us. And after he's trained us, and he's got that fucking smirk on his face, and he goes, "Guys, I'll see you later." And we're fucked.
How often are you guys training together?
Sorry.
How often are you guys training together?
No, it's not what we train together. Dave basically trains me.
Yeah,
and I train. Yeah. It comes once a week, hopefully. You know, but if it's really like fucking having a really bad week, he might do twice a week. So that's very
stress
rare.
management.
Yeah.
Works great for me.
Yeah.
Listen, but you know what? It's good. You know what I mean? It's good, for me to get pushed to the limits, and knowing somebody like Dave, like he knows how far to push you. He's not just about pushing you and fucking, killing you off. You know what I mean? Like some people do. They just want to kill you off. Like with Dave, he knows like how to hit your muscles, and knows when you've had enough. He's not gonna just push you for the sake of pushing you, which is good. So.
Anyone can do that shit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So anybody can just a little kid, 10 years old, can fucking keep telling you to do reps after reps after reps until you're fucked. You know what I mean? So in that respect, Dave does know what he's doing, even though.
Doesn't know about anything fuck all else, but he's all right with that.
Yeah.
Dave, how long have you been training for now? Because obviously you told me that you kind of you've guinea pigged everything on yourself, training wise, to work out what works. When did it all start?
I started when I was sort of 14, 15 with a set of weights in the basement, and it was just a set of the old Weeder dumbbells, the gold ones with a twist end. It was the clamp ends. Oh, yeah. And then I joined a gym. My mum was convinced it was a fad. It wasn't going to last. And I pretty much stayed consistent up to about 24 when I tore my pec off, and then I had a big break. But I was lucky because I trained at a gym in Huddersfield, Maloney's, and it had a good rep, and it had good bodybuilders in there. But it also had world champion powerlifters, world champion arm wrestlers. And I got the opportunity to train with Billy Payne, who trained with Dorian back in the day. I got the opportunity to train Kev Taylor, Mary Ann Gay, Ian Harrison, Nutter from America.
Nutter?
Yeah, Mike Quinn.
Oh, yeah.
I love Mike. He's great, but he's completely fucking bonkers. I mean, there's no other way you can describe Mike. He is completely fucking nuts. But I love him. I think he's great. But I just got exposed to a lot of high quality trainers from a very young age. So I never knew any different. You know, it was to me. I mean, but at the time, if you didn't bench 4 plates, you couldn't bench. You know, you just didn't. You weren't talked to about benching unless you were benching 4 plates and more. It was 6 plates with a squat. You know, it was those sort of numbers. And so to me, a 4-plate bench was fairly sort of average and normal. And a 6-plate squat was fairly sort of average and normal. I didn't see them as being big weights because there was a lot of guys doing it. So it sort of, in a way, removed boundaries of what I thought was possible and capable. And as a result of that, we just constantly pushed more. But the ethos was always in not just training intensely in the sense of, you know, sweating your nuts off, but training smart and hard. And I spent years just playing around with slight changes in finger grips and arm widths and, you know, positions on machines and spinal position and stuff. So I just found the shit that really hurt, because I knew if it really hurt, it was working the muscle.
So can you tell me, Dave, like you said, you trained with all these guys, you know, these quality trainers, and was this like 20 years ago or something?
Oh, yeah. My first training partner was Billy Payne when I was 16.
Yeah, so, you know, at that time, so you trained with these guys, and how different is it now, like, training and, you know, people watching people train in gyms evolved over these years? Like, yeah. Hello, where's Dave? How am I supposed to ask a fucking question now?
Wow.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say to you is, you're saying that, you know, you train hard and smart, but a lot of people don't know what that means. So how would you simplify it to the people now who are getting into training? And because I see a lot of fluff stuff going on in the gyms with, you know, angles and stuff like this, you know what I mean?
There's something, I do believe there's something in that, but I think the problem is that people have got so focused on tech or techniques and little nuances that they've forgot the basic rule. And the basic rule is lift some fucking heavy shit and do it until you puke. I mean, without wanting to sound like an old man moaning about the good old days in the past, I was just taught that you gave everything you had, but you controlled it at the same time. So lots of guys will go in a gym, they'll throw weights around, they'll sweat like fuck, they'll burn a shitload of calories, but they're not actually stimulating the muscle they're trying to hit. You know, the first thing was get the muscle working, feel it where you want to feel it, and then once you've got that established, hammer the living shit out of it. And it was one of those gyms, it was really weird to explain, and I think this is something that's gone from a lot of gyms now, is you'd go in, you might have had a shit day, you might not want to train, but within 5-10 minutes of being in the gym, the atmosphere just got you going.
Yeah.
But everybody knew everybody. So when you stepped out with 6 or 7 plates on your back, they knew it was a big lift for you. So the whole gym got behind you. Yeah. You know, you never asked for a spot. One would just appear. Yeah. And they knew how to spot as well. They knew it was just enough to keep it moving, not enough to take the intensity away, and not forced rep after forced rep after forced rep. When you're done, you're done.
What do you think? What do you think's changed a lot more now then compared to them days?
So I'm gonna probably upset a few people here. I think there's 2 big changes. One was Dorian.
Yeah.
And one was drugs and the availability. So when I started training, if I wanted to buy steroids, I went to the big guy in the gym, and 9 times out of 10 he'd say, fuck off.
Yeah.
If I showed that I was training hard and I was giving it the work, then he might let me buy some D-ball. Okay. And he might give me enough to have 5 a day, you know, and it was that sort of apprenticeship you served to start using drugs. And then Dorian came along as well and presented this physique that nobody had ever seen. Nobody had seen the likes of this before. This was a wholly different physique. How did he do it? How did he create? Oh, hit. So everybody started practicing hit. But no fucker could train like Dorian. No fucker could create that level of intensity workout after workout. So as a result, the quality of training went to dog shit.
Dave,
People
do you
just
think it's
train-
caused more injuries? That so obviously everyone was doing hit like Dorian, and obviously he's had quite a few. Big
I'm
injuries.
not a fan of DC. I think these styles of trainings take a very unique individual to make them work. I mean, I feel I can train hard. There'll be people that have trained with me and said, no, you can train harder than that. But I feel I can train hard, and I couldn't do hit. I could not generate that level of intensity training session out of one. So I just developed my own sort of spin-off from that with a bit more volume, a bit more elongated warm-up, and a bit of a cool-down sort of set post the back of things. But I would say single-handedly, with the onslaught of drugs, and this is human nature as well. I mean, I could walk to the local shop if I wanted anything, but I'm not going to do. I'm going to get in my car and go. Yeah. Why? Because the car's fucking there. So why should I train super intense in the gym when I can take drugs that will compensate for that to some extent? Now, that's a short-term fix that will only get you so far. But most people only want to go so far. Most people don't want to be Zack. No. That's a select few. Most people just want to look good enough to pull a bird on a Friday, Saturday night.
I think people do want to be Zack. I think it's just the actual amount of effort and dedication 24/7 to do it. I don't think people have got it.
I think the problem is what you've got now is that people who want to be big as me and, Dorian and these mass monsters like Nick Walker and Rami, they don't want to put the hard work in, because we live in a society now where you want everything now. You know what I mean? It's like, look, there's people in the gym, they're not even been trained 6 months, and they come up to me and they say to me like, oh, I'm doing my first show next year, so hopefully I'll become a pro in a few years. Like, hang on a minute. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's the mentality they've got. You got people who are competing once there, and then they're becoming coaches, and they are advising people how to take drugs, how to diet. What do they actually know about people?
I lose clients because I won't give them fucking drugs.
Yeah. So, same with me. It's like straight away people come up to me, they ask me, it's like, I'll put them on a diet. And after a couple of weeks of a diet, they said to me, when am I going to start my cycle? I go, when I feel like you're ready for it. I go, do you actually know what's more anabolic than steroids? They'll say to me, what? I go, fucking food and good food.
The thing is, the thing that starts everything is training. The thing that causes muscle growth to occur in the first place is stimulation via training.
Yeah.
But 90% of people haven't got a fucking clue how to train.
They can't even stimulate fucking dick, never mind their muscles.
But it's true. I mean, and I say you sound like a broken record on an old man, but the standard or the quality and the intensity of training has dropped phenomenally. I mean, it really has.
I'll tell you, Dave, so last year when I think it was last year, earlier on this year, when we were doing some training together, I used to train a lot less reps and sets than you gave me. And when I started doing that, even though I was training much lighter and I was doing more at, time and attention, I was saying to you, wasn't I? I was saying, these are the best workouts I've ever had, and it was more volume. It was a lot more difficult because it was under tension the whole time. And it was a total eye-opener for me, because I've always trained in a similar way, like you said, to the Dorian thing. Because when I was growing up, I was at Bodymasters, great gym, like you said, like the Huddersfield one, with a really good set of lads who were all into competing, the spotters were always there. But the training was slightly different than when you started. So for when I've gone on to more higher reps and a completely different way, it was hard at first. I was knackered. The workouts were much longer. But yeah.
The thing is with that TUT stuff, it's to teach you to connect with the muscle you're using. And then once you've built that connection, you can then start to go back a little bit to the sort of old school approach of big weights, push hard. But there's no point doing that if that load's not going where you want it. We've recently done it with shoulders, me and Zack and Michael. We've gone back to getting the focus in the delt, because on legs, it's there. They can feel their legs completely within a few sets. They're up, they're running, they're done, they can feel every inch. So now we've gone to delts to do it, and they're doing it with back as well. And you build that connection, and then on that, you build the load. And then eventually the connection will start to dissipate a bit. And so you pull it back, reconnect, and then you build the load again. And so it naturally becomes cyclic. You know, I'm having a deload week. Fuck off.
Yeah.
You know, if you need one, fine. But need one. Don't have one because I've done my 6-week block. Fuck right off.
Yeah. The thing about it is, Dave, and, you know, people see me training in the gym and they like see me like lifting half the amount of weight. And they're like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? And I'll say to them, come here then, you do this set. I'm going to show you how to do it properly. And they can't even do the weight what I'm even doing. You know what I mean? They're using their back to swing. They're not using the muscles to connect. They haven't got that minor muscle connection. And, you know, the thing about it is, look, I've been training for a long time, and, you know, we all get into our bad habits. And then when somebody comes along and shows you how to do it again, and, you know, basically you have to relearn again because you built up these bad habits where you've been lifting more weight on and your form's been getting a little bit sloppy. But you haven't noticed it getting sloppy because it's been little increments it's been going sloppy by. So over like a year, you've got stronger, but your form has got a lot more sloppier. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's why it's good sometimes for somebody to come along and put your ass back in shape again and say, listen, you picked up these bad habits. And I always say to people is, listen, you don't need to train with me all the time. Come back once every 3 months, once every 6 months. I can have a look at you and tell you if everything's going right. And if it is, great. You're on your way again. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And it's though, don't get me wrong, I love moving big iron. Well, I did do. I can't do it anymore because I'm old and fucked. But I love moving big iron. But it was never the goal. The goal was always to annihilate the muscle I was training. And I love training. I would have trained as long as I have, even if there were no drugs at all. The reason I took drugs was because it allowed me to train harder. I didn't take drugs to get bigger initially or for a long period of time. I took drugs so I could train harder because that was what I loved, that mental challenge. 2 days before legs, I would start be getting sleepless nights and I'm starting to get worried because I know it's going to hurt that bad. The day before back was the same because I knew the night before back I was going to be trashed when I finished it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's what I loved. But it's you've got to train hard. You've got to train intensely, but you've also got to train smartly. I mean, I've done a lot of dumb shit. I've taken a lot of drugs and my health has suffered because of it. There's no denying that. But my shoulders aren't fucked. My elbows aren't fucked. My knees aren't fucked. My hips aren't fucked. But I was repping 7 plates in a squat. I was bent over rowing 6 plates. I was benching 5. I was shoulder pressing 5.
Pressing 5. Fucking hell.
Yeah, behind the neck press 5 plates.
Wow.
So if I could move that load,
yeah.
But I've got no joint problems because I didn't throw that weight around. I used to do TUT with 4.5 plates on bench.
Wow.
10-second reps.
Okay.
But that was a thing. But then if you'd said to me, explode, I couldn't fucking do it for love of the money because I was so programmed into just moving the load with the muscle.
You know, you're in that frame of mind of lifting heavy and you don't really care how you're lifting it. And you know what I mean? And I think nowadays you're getting too many people, like they'll train for 2 weeks and they're saying, oh yeah, I need a deload week. And they're thinking that they're training hard. It's like, if you want to see how hard people are training now, just look on their Instagram reels and their training doesn't motivate no one. Do you know what I'm saying? You'll rarely find somebody's Instagram what really motivates you to train.
I think as well, I always had this attitude. I was like a sponge when it came to training when I was younger. Every opportunity I could get to train with somebody who was bigger or stronger than me. It's like when I squatted with the powerlifters.
Yeah.
But they were doing doubles and triples, and I'm trying to do sets of 6 to 8 with it.
Yeah.
And I didn't, stupid as it sounds now, but I didn't ever look at it going, well, they're only doing a double with that. It was like, well, they're using more load than me. So I need to be able to do, even though I'm doing 3 times the reps with the weight, it's like, I need to be able to get to that. I mean, there was never any reason for me to shoulder press as heavy as I did, but I enjoyed it and I loved it and it was under control.
Was it kind of an addiction to just push yourself to the absolute limits? Is that kind of
yeah? But that's how the whole UC stuff came about. I've not, as I've got older, I've got more balance. But you know, in my younger days, I would rather see how far I could go than set a goal that limited me.
I think if you set a limit, though, you always work to that limit. If you don't have a limit, exactly. The sky's the limit.
Yeah, and I mean, my shoulder pressing came about because the gym owner and somebody else took the piss out of me because I was struggling with the plate aside. And it was like, no fuckers ever gonna do that again. And then I remember Maloney's at a 300 kilo. Was it 300 kilo? It was something insane anyway, low row stack. I mean, it was mental. And it was like, no one's ever going to lift that. Fuck you, wait. I've always responded very well to negativity in training. Some people don't. I do. The more you tell me I can't fucking do it, the more I'll dig my fucking heels in and do it. And I used to burn through training partners like no tomorrow because they couldn't keep up or they couldn't handle the abuse. It was one or the other.
Probably because you're bullied. And, you know,
I am a bully, yes, definitely.
And I've got no fucking choice, have I? So you just turn up to the fucking gym, so I can't run away.
Zach, you fucking love it, really. You love it. You're like, hurry up.
But yeah, I don't feel I'm anything special in that regard. I think I'm a product of the era in which I grew up in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, Ian Harrison trained fucking hard. Billy Payne trained fucking hard. Mary Ann Gay, Jesus Christ, that woman trained at another fucking level. She didn't understand. Yeah, she did not understand. Stop it. She fucking tortured me. But I'm better for it. You know, the more pain I learned to endure, the more I used to channel and manage that, the better I became at what I did.
So you know, from your experience and everything, what you've learned, and by trial and error, obviously, is that what you like giving back to your clients now? You know?
Yeah, I spent a lot of time, literally, and I mean quite literally, like on a bicep curl. I would change the pressure from individual fingers. I would change where I grip the dumbbell, left to right, center, whatever, and play around to see what created the best return in muscle engagement. You know, where did my elbow want to be? Did it want to be tucked? Did it want to be just an inch in front? Did it want to be in front of my waistline? I did this week in, week out with all different exercises, constantly playing until I found the ones that worked. And then I tried it on somebody else and it worked on them. And then I tried it on somebody else and it worked on them. And what I found is, for the most part, the body mechanic positions are pretty much universal. You get the odd exceptions, but those exceptions are usually bound around a physical limitation of muscle tightness or range of motion and stuff like that. And I do actually enjoy training the right people. The worst thing for me is training someone who's a bit wooden. Mm-hmm. You know, I like to train people that engage and get involved and give you feedback. And you need a certain level of experience to do that. So I can have a conversation with Zach about the engagement he felt in a leg extension or the engagement he felt in a leg press or a hack squat. And he can give me feedback about where in the muscle he's feeling it, whether he feels it's tighten on a tendon or anything like that. And then I can adjust what we're doing to either remove or intensify whatever element we're looking for.
Yeah, I got to say that the one thing you're good at is basically, you know, knowing how to change your positions and how to hit that muscle. It's like, what people don't understand is when you watch somebody train on a video and, you know, or on the Instagram or whatever, and you're seeing how they're training, you can't explain to someone how you're moving that way, because it's hard to explain it on a video because it just looks like you're moving it up and down, but you don't realize that, you know, you're moving it slower until you reach the upper part, and then you're exploding it out and squeezing that muscle on the top, then basically controlling it back down. So a normal person who doesn't know about that just thinks you're just lifting it up and down. You know what I mean? And like you said, if you're doing bicep curls and you're lifting that dumbbell up, people don't realize that once you lifted it fully to the top, you're still trying to squeeze it even more past that point, like trying to bring it towards your shoulder. You know?
I constantly pull. I pull. I don't stop pulling. I never tense. Never tense. You know, no one's fucking grown big biceps by tensing them. But I keep pulling it in and 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 pulling it in. And that, even though I might only be moving fractions of a millimeter at the top, every time I pull more, I recruit more muscle fiber. The more muscle fiber I create, the more stimulus I get. This is boring for Kurt because he doesn't train.
I do train, just not recently. Yeah, I have trained in the past.
What, about 2 years ago?
No, we did a little bit at the beginning of the year, didn't we? I actually looked quite good. I had abs. I drew them. Photoshop. Hey, I've got one. So if you type in, you go onto Instagram and type in bodybuilder, Zack's silhouette that he's got on his Skype thing or whatever is actually the main icon for a bodybuilder. You know the one when it's got he's stood there and that one he's got on his screen? That's actually the icon for a bodybuilder on Instagram.
Well, that's what I was shocked
about. No, but it's like, it was just his body that popped on. I was like, that's fucking Zack's body, that.
Yeah, but
it might be photoshopped or not, but he's still got it. He's still the Instagram bodybuilder.
Fucking, they use it on Snapchat.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. It's great. You should be charging for that.
Yeah, say you need royalties off that or something. Can't you copyright that? Get royalties.
We've got a minute left, guys. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. All right. Yeah. Dave, who would win a fight, RoboCop or Terminator?
Terminator.
Any reasons?
Why?
Because he's virtually indestructible. RoboCop doesn't really carry anything firearm-wise apart from a metal head and a fucking gun.
Fair enough.
RoboCop's shit anyway. Come on, I mean, it was only fucking 2 films where the Terminator there's like 10. Yeah. So obviously Terminator's better.
Without getting distracted, Zack, could you bench press Pamela Anderson and Jet from Gladiators at the same time?
Jet and Pamela Anderson.
Yeah.
Put it this way. I'll be bench pressing him with something.
Zack's playing tense.
Dave, I've got a question for you. Big titties or big ass?
I am a booby man. You've met my wife, mate. You know that.
Okay, I've got to run. Oh, this is a weird one. So this is from Max, who's my COO. Would you rather have nipples for toes or toes for nipples?
Who's that to, Dave?
Yeah. You can go first on that one, I think.
No, I'm not going on first on that one. I want you to go first.
Well, if I had nipples for toes, it would definitely create a whole new level of gyno.
So, would you rather have nipples for toes or toes for nipples?
Fuck's sake. Fucking hell. Either way, fucking... Could you imagine me wearing socks, fucking my nipples are getting turned on. Fucking by just putting them on. Fucking every morning. Walking around with my fucking... Walking around in my shoes, fucking... Fucking... I got that much gyno that my fucking titty started to milk. You know what I mean? Fuck's sake.
Fucking hell, overflowing out your shoes.
Oh, can you imagine? Nipples, you have to fucking clip them every day. They grow that long. With the fucking nails on them.
That's the worst. That's fucking horrible.
Fucking hell. When you come
start smelling as well. You are.
Questions, mate. Fuck's sake.
I don't know. So I'll tell you what, a normal question then for the bodybuilding enthusiast, the supplement enthusiast. First I'll ask Zack, I don't know if Dave takes any supplements, but Zack, what's your favourite ever flavour of any supplement?
My favourite? Yeah. What, any supplement?
Any supplement, what's your best ever flavour?
I don't know, like, it's like, you know, if you're going to have a protein shake after training, it's got to taste nice, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you're going to have a fucking, so you can't beat flavours like chocolate or something or strawberry, you know what I mean? So it's like, for me, it's got to be refreshing, you know what I mean?
Do you remember the CMP Pro Recover years ago in them bottles? It's like a little shake and take. The chocolate ones, I used to buy 36 of them, and they're full of sugar. Proper shit. It was the best tasting protein ever, that chocolate CMP. I think it was about 10, 15 years ago or something like that. Unbelievable.
I used to like MetaRx as well. The
sachets.
Drink ones. Yeah, they were fucking nice as well.
I used to like the MetaRx ones. They were really nice.
What was
really nice. Why the long face? Why the long face?
Well, we were talking about whey and protein, so I just thought I'd have a suitable animal,
Oh, fucking class. What else have we got on there? I think we've done them all now.
This is so organised.
Well, we're only on episode 2. And when you come when you come back on down the line, I'm sure we'll be a lot more organised. We'll have a longer
episode
Zoom.
4. you can't get anyone else to fucking come on.
They're scared about the questions.
Oh no.
They weren't bad, actually, to be fair. I've been asked worse.
What's the worst question you've... What's the worst?
Oh, God. I can't remember now, but, I mean, I've never shied away from self-deprecation, so I'm quite happy to talk about shit.
Yeah,
might be embarrassing, you know what I mean? It doesn't really bother me.
Awesome. Well, let's wrap up now, guys. So, Dave, it's been great having you on. Just tell everyone your Eval. Just tell them the website, how they can find you. Best point to contact. Okay,
so Eval Blood Analysis. So if you can't remember how to spell it, it's Eval Blood Analysis.com. And we're a blood testing company. We specialize really in people who use or have alternative lifestyle choices. So I know a little bit about steroids, and we offer what's unique to us is the reports that we offer, because the reports go into doses and management, cycle management, and things of that nature. The website lists the clinics we have, and we also do gym events as well. So depending on where you are in the country. So it's like, for example, say we're at Ultraflex Rotherham last Sunday of every month. We're at Rip Gym in Basildon second Sunday of every month. We're at Crayford Weights and Fitness second Saturday of every month. We're at Genesis Gym in Wembley last Saturday of every month. So we get about a bit. We do blood testing, IV, and bloodlets.
Awesome. And we know where to find Zack, waiting in a dungeon gym in Sheffield, waiting for you to turn up. Give him a beasting. If you can be bothered.
I can say to anybody who's thinking about using gear or anything, listen, before you even start going on a cycle, get your bloods done before, so you exactly know where you guys are. Don't just jump onto a cycle and basically fuck your system up. You know what I mean? So guys, just basically follow Dave on his Instagram page, and you'll see where he's gonna be appearing. You know what I mean? He's gonna be appearing this Friday, kicking my ass in gym, of course. Or
in a prison near you.
And also, I can say that Dave is a good person to have as a coach as well, which he offers, off-season training. And basically, if you are somebody who's serious about training and need somebody to rectify your form and see where you're going wrong, and Dave is the man for that also.
Are you stroking yourself whilst you're talking about him like that?
Yeah, he does.
It's like this.
He does it in gym as well. He's always got his hand in his pocket, fiddling, like he's got ferret down his back.
He wants to get his money's worth.
He does.
I've got a fucking hand in my pocket is because I've got a hole in my pocket. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, that's why you keep losing your pound coins.
Right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Dave, thank you so much for coming on the show. Zack, it's great to speak to you again. And guys, stay tuned next week for episode 3. Take care, guys.
You're gonna do this fucking again? Jesus Christ!
Absolutely. This is it now. We're on a roll.
I'll never get that half hour back as long as I live. It's gone.
It's not gone. It's going to be live on YouTube. You'll have it on there forever.
All right, guys.
Yeah, take care, guys.
See you later.
See you later.